How's it going, friends and family of the internet? Welcome to the Real AF TV podcast show about fishing and random takes from the land of 10,000 lakes. I'm one of your hosts, Josh LaBaw.
And I am Tim Wagner.
Tim,
What
I
up?
got like a boatload of housekeeping. Should I just kick it off with housekeeping? That
Hell
sounds
yeah.
boring.
Rocket.
But let's do it. Because Google is killing Google Podcasts. Did you know this? Did you see this? You heard about this?
No.
Yeah.
Why?
They're going over to YouTube Music or whatever they're going to call it now. I don't know. It just said YouTube Music. And so I checked it out, the YouTube Music app. It's pretty dope, actually. So since we're a video podcast, all I do is upload the video to YouTube.
Yeah.
And it plays in the app. But you can turn off the video.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it doesn't eat up extra data, and it just puts the logo up and plays it as a podcast. So if you're on YouTube and you're on YouTube Music, you can also subscribe to us through like YouTube Music. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So if you're listening to this on a different podcast feed, or if you're listening to this just on YouTube, and you're just like, man, I want the podcast, but I don't use Spotify. Yeah. YouTube Music, and we're already there because remember when I said, hey, YouTube added a new thing. It's like podcast or something. Like it's like a thing that you can designate. So the Real AF TV podcast has been a podcast on YouTube basically since the day they let that happen. And so like our whole shit's already there, just ready to go.
So basically it's like their way of competing with Spotify. So they're like, here's the video plus the audio plus if you want just the audio.
Yep.
That makes sense too. To just be like, YouTube is our media platform.
Yep.
When you search in Google a video, we pull up all the YouTube clips.
Right.
Like it just makes sense.
100% it makes sense. So
I hope they keep the well, maybe it won't just transfer over. I was gonna say I hope they keep like the episodes you've listened to. There's some podcasts that have been trying to go through the back catalog. Mm-hmm. And if it takes away what I've heard, that might suck a little bit, but it'll be okay. I'll get back on track. Like Sword and Scale, I finished all of the regular free episodes. So I got the premium and their app sucks. I haven't opened it up yet, but they admitted like that there's problems with it. They're launching a new one, but right now I'm just listening to the stuff on the website and there's no way to track it.
Right.
So sometimes like I go and I come back and I'm like, shit, what episode was I on?
Right.
You know?
Yep.
And that'll stink if they switch over to YouTube and I lose my place in some of the areas, but I guess I'll just have to like go through and be like, I don't remember these guests, so let's give it a shot.
Sure.
And then like I've had it happen before. 10 minutes in, they say a line, and I go, "Oh, I remember laughing at that joke."
Yeah,
or this one.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I do the same because I had for Apple. I download my podcast, so I don't have to worry about data. The drive to work has some spotty spots that I've hit. Like I'm deep into the podcast, and then I hit this dead spot, and I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah.
So I keep sticking with my downloads for now, even though the data connection around here is good. Anyways, I'll shorten up the story too. I still download mine, but then got a new computer. And so I just fucking started downloading everything again.
Okay.
And it fucking threw off my spot.
Oh,
so I have the same situation where I'm like, that title doesn't sound familiar and that summary doesn't sound familiar. I'm going to listen to this. And 15 minutes in or just before they go to the first break, you know, there's usually some sort of like funny way to get into the break. And then all of a sudden I go, fuck, I heard that transition before.
Dude, I'll tell you, I got the exact opposite actually today. Spotify is pretty good at like giving you some stuff where you like didn't finish listening to it or whatever.
Yeah. Yep.
And Kill Tony, I listened to a lot. And one of the episodes, somehow I skipped or something because it started playing an older one. And I'm just like, pretty sure I heard this. And I'm like, let's hear the first Hans Kim has been opening it up the show for a while.
Mhm.
He does his minute, and I'm like, that didn't sound familiar. And then a little bit later, they get in and they have one of the guys. If anybody's not familiar, Kill Tony is a live stand-up podcast where they have people come in and do like just 1 minute sets. They pull his name out of the bucket and they come up and do a minute, and they pull the guy's name out of the bucket. He does a minute, and then he does the interview part. And during the interview part, he's just like, what do you do for a living? And he's like, I work in IT. And one of the other comedians is just like one of those fuckers from the clowns. You're out there eating kids. And I was just like, I definitely would have remembered that joke. That was
Right. That's a good joke.
He's like, it's one of those fucking clowns. And he's just like freaking
out. That's a fucking good joke.
Yeah, it is. So sometimes it works the other way when you got a good setup. So Spotify, I know in the past I've been like, I don't know if I really like Spotify. But there's definitely been some things that have been really nice with Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't do the dumb bullshit that Google does. So I'm fine with leaving Google, because sometimes Google will be like, can't play your podcast. And I'm just like, why? Is there something wrong with the internet? And I go to Spotify and Spotify plays right away. And I go, all right, whatever.
I had the same thing happen. And I think that's probably also the other reason why they're killing Google Podcasts. Is it just, I don't think that their player was right, because I've tested several times when I just thought, something seems off. Right. Yeah. And I'll go test all the platforms, if not all of them, a few of them. And I'm just like, what is going on? How come 2 of them play and 1 don't? And then like the other 4 do. And I started to sort of figure out like why and all this. But nope. Sometimes it was just, there was no explanation. It was just like, Google just won't play. Like everything else is playing. Literally everything else is playing. This doesn't check out. So there's nothing wrong. There's something fucking up with the player right now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yep.
So yeah. Anyways, youtube.com/@realaftv. Now you can find us on YouTube. The music version. It's a weird thing. Who knows what they're going to do with that? But I will change the website. So just go to realaf.tv and you'll see the link to it now, because I'll kill the Google Podcast link and put in the YouTube one.
I wonder if YouTube Music will put in ads like how the video does. And you can get AdSense off of podcasts now. That's
a good question.
Curious.
Because you can on Spotify. We haven't turned on any of that stuff on our side, but
sure.
To switch over to Spotify, there's the ability to do that, and Spotify added comments now. I don't know when the fuck they did that. But I'm just kind of looking at all this stuff, and they have comments. You can do polls now at the end of it. So I put one of those out there for us. So there you go. Cool. Spotify, another way to interact with us. Do it up.
Nice.
Yeah,
for sure.
Appreciate that. Anyone leaving comments and stuff like that, and answering the polls and shit like that, because Spotify can do that now. So if you're over there, cool, check it out. We have a couple up.
Call us on our bullshit if you want. I try to call myself, real time. Say something. I go, I don't know if that was right. If you hear something, you're like, he was wrong, let us know.
Yeah.
And
we check it all out.
If you let us know and I'm right, I'm going to let you know. I'll say, you're wrong. Not me. Suck a fart.
So that was the big housekeeping. I mean, of course, you got this every other week podcast. So we drop the big podcast, like the official Real AF TV podcast drops every other Monday. And in the off week, we upload just a video version of the clipped out fishing take and the random take. We just clip them out and we throw those up on YouTube on the off week.
But now they'll also have an audio version, right?
Nope. Because those are not designated as a podcast on our YouTube channel. So those will continue to just be a YouTube feed. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Great way to just bring that up. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I was I was gonna kind of get into that, but you did it more abruptly than I did. I was gonna drag on for a little while, but why the fuck do we have to do that? This is housekeeping,
Right?
So yeah, if you're listening to this on YouTube directly,
Yeah.
you probably already know that, but if you're listening to this on Spotify or something like that, like YouTube is coming into that space a little bit more now. And, if you subscribe on YouTube, you're going to get it on YouTube. It seems to me that it's just going to automatically feed into your app because this is a podcast. But again, we're going to keep the splits just as videos over on the YouTube channel. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, realaf.tv is where you can find this stuff. The changes, I have links to all of the different services, and Google Podcasts will now change over to YouTube Podcasts. And and contact us there too. If we just talked about comments on Spotify. That's cool. Please do. Comments on YouTube. It's all there. You want to do it? It's cool. Please do. We'll see it. But you can also just basically email us by going to realaf.tv. Remember, real like fish and reel, and /contact is the place to go. All right. That was a lot of housekeeping. Kicked it off with it. But this is how we usually kick off the Real AF TV podcast. Let's do it. Tim, for anybody watching who just the audio part, Tim played that part air drum style. It was awesome.
Tried
to. Ice fishing hopefully is still alive and well in Brainerd, I guess.
Dude, I am very curious to see how this goes.
Me too.
Because normally they have a shit ton of cars parked on the ice.
Oh no, I did not know
That's
that.
not a thing right now. And definitely not a thing after the next 2 weeks.
No. We are in such a, so anybody who's living in the United States knows we're going through a warm spell now, basically.
It's crazy.
And the north
last week was cold as shit, and the really only week that gave us any ice.
Yeah.
And the rest has been warm.
Yep. And it was enough to open up some of the bigger lakes around the area.
Yeah.
It was funny. I was listening to a local weather guy, and he goes, I've been following the marina over in Waconia, opening up. We're going ice fishing. That was like Thursday last week. And now it's like the ponds are holding a little bit of water on top of them because the melt has started because it's been so warm this week. And it's like, oh, fuck, man.
And I've seen people saying that because of the snowpack in some areas that insulated the ice, they're looking at between 7 to 12 inches, and 12 inches is enough to drive your vehicle. There was a truck pulling a tandem axle trailer, and that was on the Fishing Minnesota page I follow. And everybody's talking shit about them, just being like, there's got to be a first. And just not enough. Be careful. Don't drive on the snow. And it's only one guy that's trying it. And everybody else is just no fucking way, dude.
No way, dude. I wouldn't go. I know. I thought about it. I have the urge to go. Mm-hmm. And I thought about it after our cold snap there. I was like, man, I should just text him and see if he's able to come down for a day. I wonder if he's going to be around down
now.
And then now I'm like,
it's cool. The warmth, if I didn't have shit already going on the weekend, I definitely would be getting my sled and just walking out there.
Yeah.
Because there's enough ice to walk.
Oh, definitely. Okay. So you feel comfortable walking still. Okay.
7 inches is enough. I think you only need 4 to be able to walk on it.
Right. Yeah.
So 7 is comfortable for walking. 12 is enough for a vehicle. But because it's iffy and you don't know what's what, and it's getting warmer, I'll walk out on the ice. I see people out on the ice walking. I'll do that for sure.
Yeah.
If the next couple of weeks, because it's still getting below freezing most nights.
That's
Tonight,
true.
Ironically, not. Tonight's going to be hovering right around freezing, but most nights it's still dropping below freezing, and then you get
Right.
the high's above freezing in the day, and then it drops below, and
Right. So it
it's
kind of
maintaining the
refreezes.
ice.
Sure.
Yeah. So I guess it depends on what the lows look like.
Right.
But not this weekend, but next weekend. I'm thinking about going if I get a chance.
Nice.
So,
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hope. And the thing, so, I mean, what we're actually going to talk about is next weekend. And Brainerd, I think, is just right on that edge of the thaw. Like, I think they're freezing again tonight. Like, this whole week that we've been in a warm spell where it's like been high 30s basically. I think they still are hovering right at that freeze mark. But they're still pushing forward. They have a February 3rd extravaganza that is about to go down from noon to 3, again, Saturday, February 3rd, on Hole in the Day Bay. That's what it's called. But we've talked about this before, so this is why I brought it up, is because, one, I was very surprised to see this article by the Pioneer Press, and go over to the YouTube video, or I guess in the YouTube music app. I guess this is all going to be there now too. You can click on this link and, go over to Pioneer Press and read the whole thing. It was a pretty lengthy one, but I was surprised to see it. And I even checked the posting date on it. It was like, oh no, this was posted just yesterday. This is accurate information. Oh, and it was just updated yesterday, like later in the day. So this has to be accurate. And I'm going, wow, Brainerd is still really ready. And not only are they ready, Tim, like you said, they usually have cars on there. I hope they're not really parking on there, because they're expecting thousands of people. So much.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? We've talked about this before. I forgot to go. I'm going to go back to that really quick. We've talked about this before because we talked about last year's event. This is where that 13-year-old kid from Hutch won that truck. You remember that?
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Yeah.
And he wasn't old enough to drive it yet.
Right. Yep, exactly. And so this is the JC's Ice Fishing Extravaganza, the 35th annual, coming up here on February 3rd. And they marketed this thing to try to draw in people that never have even been ice fishing. So they're trying to get people to come into the Brainerd area, just for this thing, for the experience of ice fishing, and for having a budget big enough to try to do that. This thing's got to be huge. And it is. I mean, the prizes are crazy. Obviously, this kid won a truck last year. So it makes me nervous to think about how many people are going to be on this bay. And I know they're going to have it all figured out for safety wise, but I was just like, dude, this shit is wild. I got to share this. This is so cool.
Yeah. Dude.
Yeah.
This is not the greatest website here, but I was just checking. And this is saying that 12 hours ago, they are saying that there's not enough ice, and
that they're going to cancel it.
They are transitions to a hybrid tournament. And I'm trying to read what this is, but whatever this other one is like, subscribe to this freaking thing to read the article.
Okay. So don't do that. Don't click on that, because also in this article, so I'll say this. I did gather this a few days ago. I've been worried about it, but I kept checking it for updates, because they edit it, right? Like you can see the last time this article was modified. And in the article by the Pioneer Press, they said, watch out, because people have been saying that it's canceled. And that is not true.
So this is saying that JC said the extravaganza will transition to a hybrid model for the February 3rd contest using the Fish Donkey app, but with extended contest hours at any Brainerd area lake.
Interesting.
So it won't be held on just that one. They're literally like, go find ice that's safe, and then just I'm assuming the Fish Donkey app is like one of those where you can, like they have the tournament set up. So you just record your catch on there.
Yep.
In the spirit of adaptability and safety, we have devised a plan that prioritizes the well-being of the public, our community, and the dedicated anglers who make this event truly special. After careful consideration, the extravaganza is pivoting to a hybrid model for the upcoming tournament. Our commitment to the ice fishing tradition remains strong, concentrating on its three core ideals, bringing the economic
blah blah blah. We don't need any of that.
Yeah, Midwestern hybrid model remains focused on our key mission. Yeah. So, anyways,
where did that come from?
This is from the Brainerd Dispatch, and it looks like they released it relatively early. So it says that the Crow Wing County Board needs 6 inches or more of ice. It says that, how does it say? It told the Crow Wing County Board 6 more inches of ice was needed for a go-ahead permit for the annual charitable. I want to say charitability, and I had to like stop my brain from putting a Y on it. It took me 3 tries to be like, no, we're not putting a Y there, you dumbass brain. Brain at JC's Ice Fishing. So it's not saying it needs 6 inches. They're saying that they need to have 6 more inches to give the go-ahead permit because there's so many people in one concentrated area.
6 or more.
Yeah, I know that. I think I kind of did the first time.
But I got you now.
Yep, I thought it was, but it's saying they need 6 more inches. Like they're 6 inches short.
Yep.
That's one hole in the day, or on hole in the day bay on Gold Lake.
And this is from the Brainerd Dispatch, you said? That's where you found it? So good.
Yeah.
So that means this Pioneer Press, they've been on top of it. They've been changing it this week. But obviously they have not got the news.
Listen to this part. Participants who register for the tournament must upload a picture of their ticket to the Fish Donkey app. Multiple changes have been adapted from the Fish Donkey tournament held in 2021, JC said. So I don't know. This must have happened once before, or they used Fish Donkey a different time, but it's saying that if you have a ticket, you have to upload your ticket to the Fish Donkey app. And then it extends the tournament across multiple Brainerd area lakes where participants can compete and experience the thrill of the extravaganza from the safety and comforts of their chosen locations. I like how they're just adding these extra words like, oh, the thrill. So, yeah, basically, online tickets sales will
end this was posted
Thursday,
not
January
too long ago,
25th.
You're saying? That was posted this week, too.
Yep. So by the time you hear this, pretty much this is going to be something you can't participate in if you didn't already know about it, because it does say online ticket sales will end Thursday, January 25th. But I think it said the contest is on February 3rd.
Yes, it is. Yep.
So when you hear this, the contest will still be happening, but you must have to go there and purchase a ticket in person.
Okay.
Because the online ticket sales end when we are recording this.
Right. Yeah. It's already over there.
Yep. Oh, it says though contestants are encouraged to buy tickets from Fleet Farm stores and other participating outlets. So I guess you can just go to Fleet Farm.
Oh, yeah. Fleet Farm is one of the big.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Purchase online at icefishing.org/shop or any Fleet Farm location prior to February 3rd.
So there you go. Go to Fleet Farm, get you some gear, get you a ticket.
Get out on the ice if it's safe.
Yeah, get a snack, bro, too. Treat yourself. They got snacks.
Oh, they got good snacks, dude.
They do. They got good snacks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They really do have the good snacks.
If you like candy, they got all sorts of stuff that they like put in their own bags. It's crazy how much shit they have that's just like, this is just Fleet Farm candy. You're like, oh, right. Okay, cool. I like the beef sticks. They don't have their own beef sticks, but they have a good selection.
Right.
So,
right.
You know.
So yeah, good at it, Tim. That was great. It still got the word out and about this whole thing, and it's really cool. And if you're in the Brainerd area and things are going off or things are going according to plan, and that what I said was correct, or if things are going like Tim said, shoot us the link, like share it on Instagram and tag us. Like, I want to know what exactly is going on, because I won't be able to make it up to the Brainerd area. I'm not traveling up there for this event. And I would love to see some firsthand takes on what's happening. That would be really cool, because as you can see, the weather is causing some real up and downs, and that makes for a real volatile situation when you have an event this big. It's very weird.
Yep.
So cool. Hit us up for real. If you're up in the Brainerd area, tag us on social media and shit. Want to see it. Want to know what's going on. Real boots on the ground shit.
That's right. Or, yeah, wherever you're at. You don't have to divulge which lake you're at, but if you want to, I'd like to hear it.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm just saying, if you're up there in the area, taking part in it, hit us up.
I'm on the other side of it and just be like, details. If you want to give us details, I would like to hear details. But if you don't, I get it.
I got you.
Yeah.
You're catching some big ones. Let's see it.
Yeah. Or if you caught a big one and you just want to send us a picture and not tell us where you caught it, that's fine too.
That's cool. I'll look at that fish.
I'll figure it out. I'll look at the background and I'll find the stars and the moon and I'll put it out there. They'll find it. We'll triangulate. That's a thing, I think, or something.
Yeah, I think it's triangulation. Yep, trigonometry, space math. Yeah, it's a real thing. We'll use space math.
Space math will give you away. Just forewarning.
There it is. The sound of the fishing topic. Tim, you said something that I just wrote down immediately one time.
Yeah.
You said, "Yeah, Zander, it's like a Russian walleye." And I was like, "Oh yeah, well, we're gonna talk about that someday then."
I know, for sure.
Today's that day.
I have to cough too. Yeah. Ooh-wee, a Zander.
That did not happen to me while I was researching this, but I loved that. So, Zander, a Russian walleye. Throw it out there right away, because that's what that's like what the headline and the thumbnail and stuff like that's going to be, to try to get the people who don't listen to us regularly to click on it. But the answer's not that Russian, actually.
Oh, okay.
But it's Russian, so don't worry.
Russian.
We'll get into habitat,
but it's Russian.
But there's some Russian ones. We'll get into habitat here soon, because this is going to be one of those, just like the largemouth one. I know we just did another one of these, but come on, guys, you like them, right? Leave a comment on Spotify.
Especially with the Zander. You don't know about the Zander. I don't know about Zander. Let's learn about Zander.
Let's learn about the Zander. So when you hear the word pike perch, or the combination of words pike perch, does that mean anything to you, Tim? Because I'm just wondering of the commonality of it in general.
I have not heard pike perch, but I could see how it would be a different translation, because for whatever reason I have heard walleye referred to as wall-eyed pike.
Oh, interesting.
But it's not a pike, and I don't know why people say it.
That's what I was wondering about too, because a Zander's a pike perch. There are pike perch, and there are more than one pike perch. And apparently, and I'm just going to say that apparently, walleye, sauger, stuff like that are pike perch too. Now that's Britannica, which is also European. Weird. And so
I know that walleye are part of the perch family.
Right.
But I don't think they're part of the pike family.
Right.
So maybe it's just like a terminology thing.
That's what I'm wondering too.
Just like its own deal. They just share words.
Right. Because a northern pike. That's the only time I know of the word pike.
Yes.
So that was like a surprise to me because northerns are nothing like
No, they're
walleye.
definitely a far different build.
Oh, and so without getting into like the fish itself yet, we'll stick to walleye because we've already done walleye and sauger. I mean, not we haven't, but we did in episode 62. We did the walleye versus sauger and kind of went into the sauger and stuff like that. And the thing that I know, the thing that's sort of common with all these is their eyes, their like ability to kind of see when it's darker. And pike aren't really deep diver hanging out, specially equipped to feed like a walleye is, from what I can
Right.
tell.
They're like ambush predators, and they will chase down stuff sometimes, but they're also like built for speed.
Right.
They're like just a completely different fish.
Yeah.
Like before they spring into action, they do like this S curve. Like if you see a picture from the top, you can see that they're kind of like how a cat pounces. Like they're kind of like coiling up and
Yeah, I was going to say like a snake, they coil kind of,
yeah.
right?
Yep. Other
Yeah,
the
because they're so
other fish don't
fucking
do
long.
it. Yeah, they're 100% like not the same fish.
Yeah.
That's why
So, oh god.
when people call like a walleye pike too,
Uh-huh.
I've even read before where they're just like they call them a walleye. Like people have called them a walleye pike. They're not related to the pike at all. They're actually more like in the perch family.
Right.
And you're like, oh, well, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah.
But now you're telling me that they're part of the pike perch.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, well, now I don't know what to think.
I'm also confused by this terminology, and I'm glad we could just throw it out there because it was just in my research, they're very much just like, yeah, part of the pike perch group. And that's not a scientific group, you know, like there's the scientific names and pike perch isn't on there. So this is like, you know, a more general term or whatever. But
yeah.
Speaking of science names, you gotta try it.
Oh yeah.
This one is so weird, and
okay.
I just no, it's not. They're always weird, right? But
yeah,
this is what I found: the Stitzotsdidion or Leucoperca.
I bet that's Lucio.
Perca.
I wonder if that other C is like an S. Lucio Persia. That sounds crazy.
Yeah, that sounds really good.
I bet that's like
why is there two names? It has two names.
Why would it be or? I wonder if they're different language.
That's kind of what I'm wondering because doesn't STZ
Lucio Perca. That one almost sounds Italian.
Yeah.
Well, Lucio just feels Italian. I think that's
Lucio
even the name of like a wine. I think there's a Moscato brand that's a Lucio.
And then the STZOSTEDON, that feels like the whatever, I forget what it is, but like, you know, the northern regions, Finland and Norway and then into Russia too, that base language.
That one feels more Russian. Like if you say it with the accent, it feels Dizostedian.
Yeah. Right.
You know?
Yeah, dude, that was awesome. That's why I let you take them. I try to stumble my way through them. But yeah, I was like, oh, there's two. You don't really get this. I did find a paper that was it was written for the United States, and they called it the Lucio Persa.
Lucio
Persa. They called it that.
Oh, okay.
But they also did call it the S. Lucio Persa. I should have gotten a Jay-Z. Damn it! I should have got a Jay-Z clip for that.
The S. Lucio Persa.
Yeah. So I should have got an S dot,
the,
you know.
The S dot, yeah, the S dot. Yeah.
I should have got. As I said it, I was like, damn it. But so I don't know if the Stizione is part of it, but it was, yeah. Either way, I just wanted to put that out there. That's its science name. We are just talking about Zander. I mean, that's the name of this fish. It's called the Zander. When you look at it now, we're not going to get into the fish yet, but when you look at just photos, it's really got some perch vibes about it.
I think it looks like a beefy walleye.
It does look like a walleye.
I think it looks like a walleye that has like a tougher version of a walleye. I think its head,
like a rougher version of a walleye.
I think it looks more like slightly prehistoric. Like if you told me like this is what walleyes used to look like, I'd be like, story checks out.
I'd be like, yeah, that works. Yeah, fuck it, dude. Let's get into the fish then. Let's just keep that rolling, because
all right.
There are times where I also think that a walleye looks a lot like a perch at a certain size, except for the coloring is just so fucking far off. Like perch have stripes, yellow perch, right? That's what we have here.
We might have more than one. But yellow perch is what we have. Yeah,
that's what we catch. That's what when we are talking about perch, that's usually what we're catching.
Yeah, and it might be something, where there's like different breeds of sunfish or bluegill where they're very close to the same thing, and I just might not be aware of that. But here, like, they're all yellow perch, and then I don't know if jumbo perch are a different breed.
Oh,
and that's why they get so damn big.
Right. I'm not sure.
Or if those are just on a lake where they're allowed to grow that big because of the space, because it seems to be that you only catch jumbo perch on like the really big bodies of water.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I've never researched that. But jumbo perch
there's another one.
One of the fish that I want to catch. They're on the bucket list. And Zander's another one, except for I'd have to research what countries they're in.
You don't have to do that, Tim. That's why we do this shit. That's why we have these episodes. So without getting into that, sticking to the fish for now, because we jumped into it.
Let's learn together which country we can go to without getting killed, because half of them are dog shit.
I agree that they look like a walleye, that a Zander looks like a walleye. But again, I think that sometimes I see a walleye and I think that looks like a perch. And sometimes I see a perch and I go, it's got a little walleye vibe. Now I know why, because they're all fucking perch family.
Yeah.
But here, the perch, they got those lines on them, typically. Zander's got stripes.
They do. Okay.
Yeah. So I did find some photos, and I'm sure these are the ones you've seen, and why you're like, that's a fucking huge walleye, is because there are ones that look a lot like walleye, and those they're, how walleyes have that dark back that fades into gold and then fades into the white belly.
Yep.
So these sort of have that, but if you look close at the photo, they still have these vertical stripes that are in that dark patch. And so you can really you can tell the difference right away there. Their dorsal fins have black spots on them too. You know how we catch fish, sometimes they have those black dots in them anyway, and you're kind of like, what is that?
Right.
Like they have, what are they, iron deposits or something? We think they are. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, we call them iron deposits. I think they're actually, like a parasite.
Oh, sure.
But you don't have to worry about it, because when you cook it, it kills whatever it is.
Whatever that is.
As long as you're not weirded out by it, it's not a big deal.
Right.
I ate them all the time as a kid, and I think my parents always said they were iron deposits, because if they said like it's a parasite, you'd just be like, "The fuck did you just say?"
Right. Yeah.
But you eat them your whole life, and you don't have any issues as long as you cook them fully. You got to make sure you cook them properly, because then you might have problems if you don't. It's just like chicken. Like cook that shit fully to kill anything there, or you might have problems, Right.
And that's why when I saw the perch, or like, I knew all that from the things that, from the times we've been fishing together and caught fish and kept them and stuff like that. And when I saw the dorsal fins on the Zander, I was like, ooh, that's giving me the vibes. Like, I don't know if I should eat this fish. Turns out eat this fish, by the way. We'll say, hopefully we'll say that more than once. So we did a walleye episode. It was like our second episode. So we should probably go back and redo it. But Tim, there's a spine on the walleye gill covers.
Holy shit. Sorry. That was a shock.
Good timing.
A spine in the walleye gill covers. I've been looking at pictures just now. Yeah.
Of
There's
Zanders.
a spine. I didn't know that.
No. Yeah. Okay. Because Zander don't have a spine on their gill cover. Like it was made very clear. And this is from multiple sources. It's like, oh yeah, well, the big thing between a walleye and a Zander is Zanders don't have that spine on their gill plate. I'm like, nobody has ever told me once to watch out for the gill plate of a walleye.
There must just be like a bone that they're talking about. I've never had any issues with the spine of a walleye gill plate.
Okay.
I don't know what they're... Now I gotta look at a walleye. This would be like, what the fuck?
Yes. So I have that down as a question mark because you walleye fish. I mean, go to the Instagram, go to realaf.tv Instagram. Look us up, Real Life Fishing Reel. And there are pictures of you walleye. You've been talking on the podcast now for three or more, plus years about how you're getting into walleye fishing more and more.
Yeah.
And
I think it just like the gill plate almost comes to like a point. Not that it's like going to be anything that pokes you or nothing. I think it just must have a bone there.
And so that is what you think the reference to a spine is. Okay.
Yeah, I think so because I've never realized that. But when you look at the pictures, it's like their gill plate comes up and like the gill plate like comes down to like a point. It almost looks like a Zander's just kind of like fades into the face.
Yeah, that must be it then. That must be what they're talking about.
Never even thought about it.
Right. We're never taught that in Minnesota. I mean, if you're new to the podcast, welcome. Thank you. You must be interested in like Russian walleye. I hope you made it this far in. And yeah, we've talked a lot about walleye fishing and stuff like that. We grew up around fishing, and there has never once in my life have I ever been taught by walleye fishermen who fish walleye very regularly. Never have I once been taught like, hey, you got to watch out for that little pokey spot on the walleye's gills.
No, no, you don't have to worry about shit. You'll be fine. Yeah.
Hey, but when you read that the Zander doesn't have that spine in their gill plate, it immediately threw my brain into a circus of what am I missing here? I live in the walleye state, not the walleye state, but the walleye is our state fish. Very prized, very much an economy around that fish here. You can't live here and not be exposed to it. Right. And it was like, what the fuck? So Tim, here's one. I also read they can have blue tints.
Oh, yes. I've seen some.
Yeah.
Where they're a little bit bluish. Yeah.
Yeah. We are going to do a blue walleye thing. Definitely. But to see that with the Zander too, I went, oh yeah, look at that. Very interesting, right? Very interesting. Now,
it is. I mean, some of them those bars do not show up, and some of them are very close to the same color as a walleye. Like they look very, very similar.
Oh yeah. But I'm not saying I'm not saying it's impossible for them to go away, because if you've seen a giant walleye, like we've talked about before, if you see a really good sized walleye, that doesn't look like a fucking walleye anymore either. But all the pictures I saw, if you look close, you could see the stripes in the back.
I'm not saying that they're not there.
Oh, okay.
They're definitely there. I see them.
Oh yeah. Okay. So this is another where I think your experience really comes in. We kicked it off.
Definitely different fish. Sorry.
Oh yeah. It's definitely a different fish. There's no doubt. So there is This is where we need the contrast of me doing research and you having lived the experience, right? Like this is where it really comes in. Zander are typically 20 to 26 inches.
Yes.
So relate that to a walleye for me and even the listeners.
That's a good ass walleye.
That's a good ass walleye.
Typically 20 to 26 inches is a big fish.
Okay.
That's a big fish.
Yep.
What was my biggest one this year? Shit. I forget. It's on the podcast someplace. I don't know if it was 23,
it is for sure,
24,
but I can't remember
26. I set a new personal best this year.
That's right.
And I forget what it was. But my personal best was in the range of where their typical is. So that's how much bigger the fish can get than ours.
Yes.
And I'll hit you with the facts because I see what you got coming up here.
Yeah.
So just keep going on this. Weight 6.6 pounds. That's the low end?
Yeah, that the 6.6 pounds is in the average, is like the average. Mm-hmm.
That's a big ass fish for a walleye around here.
Okay.
Because not huge by any means. Like if you catch over a 10 pounder, that's when people are like, that is one that's like, holy shit, that's a big fish. Because that's when you're getting into like the 30 inches.
Yep.
Like if you get 30 inches above, that's a trophy walleye.
Sure. And you're talking in the 10-ish range.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
A big muskie. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I see that the next stat, I'm just going to say it.
Yeah. Do it.
The length gets up to 51 inches. That's a big muskie, dude.
That's what I thought when I wrote that down. I thought, isn't that muskie range now? What the fuck,
a 50-inch muskie used to be the benchmark for when you could keep it. Like it used to be smaller than that. Then they moved it up to 50.
Wow.
And now I think it's like 52 or 54 or something. I don't keep muskies. I just catch them and put them back.
Right.
So
yeah, that's totally.
I don't really care. I don't keep up on what the size is that I can keep because I just take when I'm trying for them, I take a measurement and then put them back. If I ever got one big enough, I just get a replica made.
Right.
But that's nuts. And
Isn't that fucking crazy, dude? Could you imagine? Just think about it. If you were catching a 52-inch walleye.
It's nuts. So check this out too. God. The world record walleye does not weigh 20 pounds. It is 19 pounds and some ounces.
Holy shit.
The record Zander is 44 pounds.
44 fucking pounds.
It is over double the size of a walleye. That is a freaking tank, dude.
That is crazy.
That's like a big fat carp.
Oh, yeah.
51 for sure. Inches and 44 pounds. And it's beefy.
They're thick because that's the difference too when you're talking about when I wrote down the 51 inches, like up to 51 inches for the Zander here in my head. Yes. Minnesotan. I go, I think we're talking about a muskie size now, but muskies we're going back to the slender, like pike reference that we got to at the beginning. And that's not the case. Now, Zander are pretty slender fish when it comes down to it, right? If you read about their description and stuff like that, they're fairly slender, but they're not like the long snaky like thing that like a northern pike are. And I know muskies get beefy, don't at me, but they're a tube, like they're an even tube, right? With a tail. They're very hydrodynamic. They are built like a fucking torpedo.
Yeah. When they get big, they're normally not like fat. They just like sometimes they'll grow a little bit long, like wider, but it'll be pretty much that same width the whole time. It doesn't get a gut like these do. These things get guts like big fat bass, like when the world record bass.
Isn't it crazy? Like these become wide bastards, man. These things, like these Zanders, if they get to eating, it seems like they get to fucking eating, dude.
Yeah. I don't know if this is like an old record. I cannot find a picture of a 44 pounder, but they're are some tanks.
I don't know that I found exactly where the 44 pounder was caught, but if I remember correctly,
Ugh.
it was fairly old, and it was sort of in one of those situations where it's if I don't know. I'm not going to say it because I don't want to muddy the waters and muck it
That
up.
weird ass Zander prepared. Just like leave it as a whole fish. Just remove the eyeball. What are you doing?
Why would you remove the eyeball even?
Weird ass Russians. They serving it with a cup of eggnog. What is that shit?
Gross. What's that cream drink with it?
Uh,
So last thing about the fish itself, I think we can move on to the habitat after this. But 20 to 24-year-old fish, that's pretty old.
24. Yeah, it's a pretty old fish.
But that's in the north. As you go further south, they only get like 8 or 9 years old. It goes right back to the bass thing we were talking about last episode, on episode 82.
Is South Russia warm? I don't know. I know some places over in the UK have like nice beaches, like almost tropical. I wonder if Russia is Russia in the UK, or is that technically Asia?
No, Russia's in Europe and Asia. Both. It spans both
It's
continents.
Both. Okay,
Yep.
I see.
Yep. So on that note, that's a good way. Again, Zander, Russian walleye. Not really, actually. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not in that much. So lakes, rivers, stream, not streams, because I guess streams are technically small. Lakes and rivers of Eastern and Central Europe. Now,
Okay.
yes, Russia is on the east end of it, but they're not just there. They're also in Western, but that's because of introduction. So like they're basically all over Europe. They get up into Finland a little bit.
Yeah.
And up into those Nordic countries. For an example here, I wrote this down. They do go north. Finland has recorded them as far north as 64 degrees north.
Okay.
For comparison, International Falls, our famous city here in Minnesota for being the coldest shit on record all the time.
Yeah.
That's at 48. And the closer you get to 90 is the North Pole. So the bigger the number, the equator would be 0. The closer to 90 you get. So they're up in the 64 range. So it's not like they're Arctic Circle fuckers.
Oh. No, but they're like North Canada.
They're getting there. Yeah. Because this is Finland that's reporting these. And you got to think about Finland's one of the, the Nordic countries up there. Right up against Russia. And there it is. Russia, Finland, they share a border. So now you're talking about, and see, that's where I'm saying it is in Eastern. It's in Eastern Europe. They're definitely there. They're just not like super all over Russia. It's not like you go up into the, I want to keep saying suburbia. Why the fuck? Oh my God. I'm blowing it right now. It's not like you go up into Siberia and they're just there. It's not that widespread. Not even all over Europe, really. I mean, not all over Russia. It's not like just Russia's dotted with where they live.
Sure.
It really is like Hungary and places like that are in Eastern Europe. And then they spread all over. It sounds mostly like from introduction. UK's got them. Look like Portugal had a pretty good amount. France is big on them. They're like Europe's walleye, dude. They're into it.
Yeah. So check this out, because I was just checking this out. If anybody else wants to Google it and try to understand this, go for it, because I'm confused. I also saw the 44 pound saying it gets up to that big, right?
Yep.
And then I find this other thing that says that if this guy would have claimed this, the stunning 35 pound, 15 ounce predator was landed on a river in Danube by Romanian angler.
Yep.
Andre Obre, but it's says he was close to Craiova, Romania's sixth largest city. So he caught that in Romania.
Yep.
But for some reason that he says the 35-pound, 15-ounce fish would shatter the record.
Maybe the Romanian record.
Well, here's the other thing, though. It says that it would obliterate the current IGFA world record, a Zander of 25 pounds, 2 ounces, caught in Trosa in Sweden in 1986.
Huh. And so think about this. That is very strange.
Yes.
Because Sweden is a Norse country.
Yep.
They don't get as, just like here in the United States with walleye and bass, just use the bass as an example because of 82, right? They don't get as big up north as they do here. Yeah, they last longer, but they take a break. And so like the more southern it is, the bigger it should get. And yeah, tell me.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know if that's the same thing with walleye.
Really? Well,
because
I know walleye don't even really go that far south in the United States, right?
Well, and they don't stop making, they don't really diet like the bass do in the fall.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the world record is actually from Canada.
Oh, interesting.
I think the Minnesota state record is smaller. World
record. I did read that the northern Zanders, they do take a bit of a break.
Oh. Well, this one's saying, for some reason, when I looked, the official record was 19, but this one's saying Harper's fish was said to weigh 25 pounds, 4 ounces. And it's the world record walleye, but it's old. I don't know. They're basing it off a photo, I guess.
Just old. The photo.
This is, so this is contradicting what I just said. This is saying the walleye allegedly caught in 1960 on Old Hickory Lake in Tennessee.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I didn't know they went down that far either. Harper's fish was said to weigh 25 pounds, 4 ounces with an astonishing length of 41 inches and 29 inches girth. So even still, wherever they're getting their numbers from, we're saying that this world record that's claiming to be bigger than whatever other world record. See, this is where it's getting confusing. How come there's like 4 different websites claiming different ones? This should be like a record you could just look up and not have like a matter of opinion, just being like, actually, I think it's 5 pounds more than what you said. Like, why? What's happening here? But still, this one's claiming 41 inches.
Yep.
Where the Zander is claiming 51 inches,
yep.
Which is a big difference. You ever catch a 40-inch muskie versus a 50-inch muskie? That 50-inch muskie is like a 40-inch muskie. When you land it, is like, yes, dude, that's a big fish. I caught one. Hell yeah. A 50-inch muskie is like you're screaming at other boats passing, like, look at this shit. Look at this fish.
Not to discredit your research and what you're finding at all, but just so you know, like I've said before in the past, the research that I'm doing is coming from the majority of research that I'm doing is coming from like peer-reviewed papers or which I assume peer-reviewed papers go into encyclopedias. So like I've already said, Britannica, there was a peer-reviewed paper that was written for the United States where I got most of this information. So again, I'm not shitting on your sources.
Oh, no.
I'm just saying, we found the same information and, like the stuff I'm bringing to the table is like, has that cred behind it. So though I don't cite the sources, I just throw that out there because it's enough work for me to just like write the fucking podcast in the first place, I guess.
And I would be willing to say too that what we're probably having is what you're citing from credited sources and people seeing photographs and like doing stuff. And I bet the other records that we're seeing are like when some, whatever IGFA is, whatever came into power as like this regulating body that they didn't exist when that other picture was taken. So they're just like, this is the biggest on our records.
Right.
But there is that picture of that really big fish in black and white, you know?
Right. No, I totally believe you. And that's why I said, like, that's why I kicked it with, like, not to shit on your sources, not at all.
Right.
I just wanted to, like, put a little bit of info behind it in case anybody is listening for the first time, or, you know, is really kind of getting into this with us. And if you are, please comment. Apparently they're on Spotify now, YouTube. You can get it in the YouTube music app, you know, hit us up, realaf.tv/contact. Remember, Real Like Fishing Reel, do it. So anyways, back to this, the habitat.
Yeah.
They are really spread all over, from like the UK all the way to the most western edge of Russia, the eastern edge of Europe, right? And they're just kind of like all over that central Europe area. They go south, they go north. It's a pretty big area. Like I'm saying, this is just kind of like Europe's walleye. Because, well, I'll just say that. So they're much more very European and not so much Russian, though they are in Russia. Right. There's no doubt about it. So to even kind of get back into the Russian thing a little bit, is they even go to like southern Russia.
Yeah.
Which isn't that far south, by the way. I'm just saying that as an example. Where the Black and the Caspian Sea are. Now these aren't giant ocean sea things. They're giant bodies of water that are slightly salty. And they actually have a pretty wide, I shouldn't say a pretty wide range, but they're gigantic. I mean, they're called seas, right? They're inland seas.
Sure. Yeah.
They do have salt. They are salty, and they vary in their salinity. So like the north part of the lake has a different level of salinity than the south part of the lake and stuff like that.
Okay.
And so these things, brackish waters, they can hang.
Yeah. Okay, they can. All right.
The map I saw, they even had some random dots in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. And I'm like, how the fuck would that even happen?
Yeah.
So I just pretended those weren't there.
Right. Just, I don't know, maybe a couple of them just said, fuck it.
and managed to survive. Because they are a freshwater fish. But don't get it twisted. They're brackish. They can hang out in some salt.
They're freaking Russian, dude. They're built different. I think what was throwing me off so much too of like the location, I was kind of laughing to myself, is that just like every picture you see of a guy holding it, they just look Russian. Like a cigarette hanging out of their mouth, and they're just like, nobody's ever, I shouldn't say nobody's ever smiling, but a lot of dudes are just like not smiling.
Yeah.
And just like when you say like Sweden and Finland, I'm just like, I'm picturing like just a big barrel chested blonde dude holding up, just smiling ear to ear. If there was audio, he'd just be like, hoingy boingy.
Right. And you don't see that.
No, I don't see that. I just see like dark haired dudes, and they all look Russian. They're all wearing tracksuits.
And with stern looks on their face.
You're just grumpy. So when even when I'm looking at those pictures where it said like the one guy caught it from Romania, I'm like, okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
But then like the other one that they showed from Finland, like that dude didn't look much happier. And I was like, oh.
I don't think that people in Finland are all that happy either. It's fucking cold.
No, it totally makes sense. You just like from over here, like that's all you ever see in the movies.
Right. 100%. I know.
Yeah. And like wooden clogs and blonde chicks with braids.
Right. Oh yeah. We're totally going off of a stereotype that we've been fed. There's no doubt about it.
100%.
Oh yeah. So Tim, this is the part that I wanted to ask about, or wanted to ask your thoughts about, is they're brackish, they can really hang out in some decently brackish waters, but these are very much like the walleye. I mean, the same way, we fish for them for sport, and they're good
Yeah.
eating fish, and they're, white flesh and real yummy.
Mhm.
Same thing. Just think over in Europe.
Yeah.
Now, think about it if it was living in some brackish water. These things eat mostly fish.
Yep.
So they got to be eating slightly salinified fish, right? Like there's got to be a salinity to it.
Yeah.
I wonder what that would do. Like, think about a walleye and then just think about if it was in a little bit of a salty situation.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's odd to think about.
Right.
But I do know that like they're not turned off by a salty dish because a lot of like soft plastics are impregnated with salt because it like changes the buoyancy, but also like adds a little bit of flavoring. And that's more so for a lot of like bass lures because you use the soft plastics a lot for bass.
Right.
I know there's like grubs and other soft plastics that people use. I, including myself, use for walleye, but not like the salt stuff like you do for bass, really. But there is different scents and whatnot. So I mean, I know that they're fine with eating it, but
Sure.
Yeah, I guess I don't really know what the water could do
I know
to a fish, except for it does seem like when you are in brackish or saltwater environments, the fish do get bigger. And again, is that just because those bodies of water are bigger?
Are allowing for
and
it.
that's why we're seeing these fish get so much bigger because I think I should shit my pants if I saw a 51-inch one. I don't even know what I'd be able to do. Like,
right. And I do wonder because we eat a lot of sea fish. We've caught fish and eaten it right out of the ocean before. And it's just like
100%.
It doesn't. I don't think that it has that big of an impact on the fish flavor. I think it really just comes down to the type of fish. So I wonder if since this is technically a freshwater fish, if it would have an impact, because the saltwater fish themselves, it doesn't seem to really have an impact on the flesh itself. It's not like you eat, from my experience, it's not like you just eat a fish right out of the ocean and it tastes salty. If you're doing that, it probably got salt water on it or something like that. Or maybe it all comes out when you cook it. Cause I've only cooked fish out of the ocean, like ocean fish. I've only ever had it cooked. That's not entirely true because I've had sushi from the ocean, but anyways, it just makes me curious about it. If you know the answer, leave a comment, please. It was just a curiousness. So, also they live in a little bit, they prefer a little bit cloudier water. It's got to be, the eye, right? They can see better. And, if it's not cloudy enough or whatever, they just try to go deep and get out of the sun. It's like, sounds like a fucking walleye to me, man. They're just like, the behaviors are so similar.
Yeah, very close to a walleye. Except for ours don't, like, I mean, they do go deep because I always thought that was more of like a temperature thing, but I guess it would make sense that they're trying to get away from the sun.
Yeah.
I guess I never researched why they go deep. I just
because of course
I just know where they like to go.
Right.
But I never was just like caught one and just be like, what's up with you guys?
What's up with you? Try to have a conversation with
it. Why are you going so deep? Show him a picture of a Zander. You ever seen one of these fuckers?
So, okay, let's get into some spawning stuff quick. Yeah, because of the fishing and spawning. And so let's jump into that and tie that in. And the similar behaviors, because they come up to shore in the spring. Stop me if you heard this one before. This is all familiar when we do these sort of things. They just come up to the shore when springtime comes. Water's between 50, 57 degrees. Things are looking good. These guys like a gravel, sandy, clay, lots of plants and stuff like that. Totally different from the largemouth that we just talked about.
Yep.
Largemouth are like, I don't know, it's shallow here. Let's fucking do it.
Yeah, they're like pretty much down for whatever, but it's very similar to a walleye.
It is.
Yeah, where they prefer like the gravel, rocky bottom when it comes to. Did it say anything about them swimming upstream?
No, it didn't say that they were ones to run up.
Okay, because a lot of times that's what walleyes like to do if it's available. I don't know how it works when it's not available. Like that's what happens on the lake I fish.
Sure.
And I don't have any answers because everything I see is just like they'll swim upstream and they'll spawn and then they'll come back out. And I'm like, I don't have streams. Right. And I can't find any literature to explain that. So
yeah, no, it's weird. Yeah, because no, it didn't say, and so it didn't really say. It just said if you got a more sturdy bottom though on the up in the shallows, that's what they want.
Yeah.
So yeah, they go up around 50, 57. Again, this is just the information. If you know this stuff and your season's open, then this is how you go get fish. Water's 50, 57. They're going to be up in the shallows. They're going to be getting ready to spawn. It's springtime.
Yep.
Eggs need the water to be between 54 and 68. And I'm like, oh, that's a big swing. These eggs are fine.
Yep.
They're going to survive. But here was the cool thing. We were just talking about them being in brackish waters and stuff like that.
Yep.
The salinity has to be under 3% though. So they definitely live in water above 3% salinity, but the eggs basically don't survive if the salinity is above 3.
It's like once they're developed, they're like, we can hang here.
Yeah.
But they can't thrive there. Like, well, at least not to begin with. Like they have to grow up into the tanks they become before they venture into the salt water to fuck up anything over there. I'm gonna eat all these salt fish. I want to throw this out there too, if anybody's listening and they know, because I don't. If anybody's been watching me Google this stuff, because I've been so curious, it shows that big fish. They said that he was caught on an 8-inch Mann's fire shad. Mann's is a lure company, Manns.
Yep.
I can't figure out if that's a hard bait or a soft bait. When I Google it, it doesn't pull up anything. I don't know if this is just shitty reporting or what. But a Mann's fire shad, I don't know if they're talking about a fire tiger shad hard bait, or if they have some sort of a soft plastic that Mann's makes overseas, and I'm just not getting it because I'm Googling it here in the States. I don't know. So.
Right. That's what I was going to say. So I've only left I've only left North America there one time in my life. And when I did, it was very eye-opening the way the internet works.
Yes.
And so that was my first thought when you said that. I was like, dude, you probably need to get on a VPN and get into, I mean, you could probably do like mans.uk or something. You can still get to that internet, but you have to remember that the search engines aren't trying to do that because typically you don't want to import something. Typically you're not trying to find information about restaurants in the UK.
Right.
Unless you specifically Google that. And so I do wonder if you're experiencing that, like just the like natural,
there's
keeping it in.
That. Sure. There's that. And there's a possibility that like it was in a different language and it got translated to English because it seems like there might be a little bit of lost in translation.
Yeah, for sure.
Or these people just don't know a lot about fishing and they're just writing the thing, because they also said that he caught it on an 8'6" St. Croix lure rod. The fuck is a lure rod?
What the fuck is a lure rod?
Not if he was using casting or if he was using a bait casting setup or like a spinning setup. It doesn't say if it was like medium heavy or whatever. It just says a lure rod.
Right.
So it's like, well, that sounds like a very vague.
Right.
That it wasn't, or is that just what it is over in UK, which I also
Well,
feel like it wouldn't be the case with everything going on. Like, I feel like it wouldn't, part of me feels like it wouldn't be like that, but also it's like we still wear wooden clogs. Oh, lure rod is what we use for lures, and then a trolling rod is what we use to troll. So it's like, I don't know 100%, but I mean, maybe they're just leaving it more vague because the trolling rod is different than like a rod that you would use for casting. They're just built different.
Yeah. But you also make a really good point about the language, because you're talking about, you got, Hungarians and Finnish and Latvians, you have all these different languages where this fish is thriving. And I'm sure that becomes a difficult thing to get like the accurate information translated, or even, it might have to be double translated. I've heard of situations like that.
Yeah. That's another thing that we don't really have to worry about over here. That is weird to think about other people having to deal with.
Yeah.
Like
because the United States is such a melting pot. We have tons and tons of languages here, but it's primarily Spanish and English. If you're going to talk about like the majority of languages. And I want to say this too, and first gen, second gen kids, please. I'm neither. I'm 3 gens from someone speaking a different language other than English.
Sure.
It always seems like there is still someone to translate it, like Vietnamese, right? Dad caught it. He speaks Vietnamese. The kids speak Vietnamese and English. So you get that one-to-one translation, like right there. It's usually not hard to find in the United States.
Exactly. Yeah. To the point where most of our grandparents, when they started putting like different instructions in Spanish, they're just all like, why the hell does it have to say it's in Spanish? I'm speaking English. And you're just like,
right.
Cuz grandpa, chill.
Yeah, exactly. Calm down, grandpa. It's getting a little, you're leaning one. Just don't say anymore, grandpa. Stop it.
Yeah, right. Oh yeah.
Okay, so back to spawning. The fish, they take off by 10 millimeters. The fry, I should say.
Oh, okay.
Or no, the fish, by the time they reach 10 millimeters, they're out doing their own thing, which is 0.394 inches. I translated and like, that's stupid. I'm going to say 10 millimeters, but I did it just for fun. But they're mostly already eating fish. So you got to think about that little thing. It's already turning into the majority of its diet. It's already just moved past zooplankton and onto fish. I'm like, fucking A.
What kind of fish is he eating?
I know, dude. It didn't say. It just it used the fancy word for primarily fish eater.
I would assume that there's got to be something out there like minnow fry.
Yep.
Where, like a full-grown minnow is small. So the fry have got to be far smaller. It's got to be some shit like that.
Right. Yep. I think it is too.
Yeah.
Oh, just because we did this with last thing here with spawning, just because we were talking about bass, largemouth bass on episode 82 here, the last one. I wanted to write this down. Apparently Zanders really don't go cannibal that much. It has to be kind of in a more of an extreme situation where there's nothing else around.
Nice.
So they have to, or there's just like low, there's low prey. So there's like kind of a little bit extra.
Sure.
Yeah.
That would explain. Yeah, that would explain why they have a healthy population of big fish.
Sure.
Where they're just like, we all eat them. We're not eating each other. And our stupid fish are over here just eating each other.
Yeah, dipshits.
Idiot.
All right. So we gotta wrap it up here. But before we do, invasive. Of course. Dude, so much about how these are invasive and stuff like that. That's why when I opened up about the habitat, I said, they're in lakes and rivers in Eastern and Central Europe.
Mm-hmm.
No, they're fucking all over Europe because Western Europe is because of introduction, and they thrive. It works. So
that's crazy.
Yeah. And so I looked at, over here in North America, because I found some Canadian websites, and I was just like, okay. And I kept reading this paper that was about the United States, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
They're not here. They're not in Canada.
Right. Dang. I was hoping you were going to hit me with some shit being like, there's a lake that has them if you want them. Like, people
There is,
them.
dude.
There is?
Yes, there is. And it's not that far away, man.
No shit.
Spirit Wood Lake in North Dakota. It's in the center of North Dakota.
Oh my gosh. So we don't even have to go that far.
Right.
Yes. Yes. Because that's what I was thinking. Like, maybe somebody did one of those things like they did down in Florida where we have peacock bass now.
Right. It is almost exactly the same situation.
It makes sense. The Dakotas are great walleye fishing, and they're basically all reservoirs.
Yes.
I don't know if that's So
Spirit Lake is yep.
Yeah, they're man-made lakes already. Why don't you just put whatever you want in there? That'd be silly if somebody was just like, we can only have walleyes. Why? It was not even, this lake didn't exist before. Whatever you want in there.
Yes. So this is crazy. And this is what we're going to wrap up on is there is the one Spirit Lake, and everywhere you look, whether it be from Britannica, which I consider a European source, worldwide source, but like to the paper that was written for the United States that had mostly European information in it. They're just like, they're not in North America, except for Spirit Wood Lake in North Dakota. And that's why I put it on here, because everything is just like, nope, they're invasive. You can't have them. It's illegal since 2016 in the United States to have it. Even earlier than that in Canada, they don't want them in the lakes because they're worried about what it'll do to the walleye population and other population. They're worried about episodic hermaphroditic neurosis virus. Also, apparently Zanders have this. It's not hermaphroditic. It's hematopoeic. But that's seriously what it is. Episodic hematopoeic necrosis virus. I'm not a fucking doctor, but there's that sort of virus that they're worried about. So they're a little bit worried about that. There have been fries here in the United States in controlled environments that they've destroyed, and they're basically like, yeah. So somebody introduced them before this 2016 law in the 80s in North Dakota.
Dude.
Turns out they work. It doesn't, by the way, Tim, it doesn't sound like there's that many in there. It doesn't sound like it's just like a booming population. And that's why when you compared it to the peacock bass, I kind of like, I think you're nailing it, where it just kind of integrated.
Nice.
And it doesn't seem to be thriving and taking over or anything like that. So going to Spirit Wood Lake, I think catching a Zander would be a challenge.
Are there walleyes in there too?
I don't know, because I didn't do research on the lake, right?
Cool
I just specifically stuck to hybrids. Huh?
How cool would it be if there was some hybrids?
So that is the other part that they were worried about. It was in the Canadian paper. It specifically said they were worried about them hybrid or becoming hybrid, but that far there's no proof of a sauger, a walleye, Zander hybrid. Like, we got sauger and we got walleye over here in the United States. And so they are worried that the Zander would hybrid because there are hybrids over in Europe.
This is not South Africa. Let them fuck. Being racist. Let them commingle.
Stop the apartheid on the Zanders. We should get shirts that say that and go fishing on Spirit Lake. Oh, okay. This reservoir, it did end up flooding. I call it a reservoir. I don't know for sure, but they did say that this is a lake, that Spiritwood Lake in North Dakota is all contained within its own self. But a few years ago, like 10 or so years ago, it did flood and it did connect to some rivers.
Oh,
but there's been no evidence that they got out. Like all the evidence up in, very recent, fairly recent, is just like, no, trust me, they're just stuck in this lake.
Right.
And this was all done for the exact reason why you think it was.
Yeah.
Think it's a good sport fish.
Yeah.
Why not bring it over, put it in the lake? And this is all before regs kicked in on this fish.
Yeah.
So
putting walleye in the lake might attract some attention if you have a really good walleye fishing lake. Putting Zander in the lake, where you have an opportunity at catching a fish you can only catch on that lake, has got to draw tourism. I'm interested.
I was going to say, I want to go with you and try to hunt them, dude.
I'm just learning about this now, and definitely I think that's my top destination to go fishing in the Dakotas, because why not?
Yeah,
dude,
I agree.
Especially if they already have walleyes, if I can go and try to catch walleye and might catch a fish I've never caught before,
right?
That's pretty damn exciting to me.
I agree. Also,
just going back to it, because I was reading that word most of the time, I go, this is how I think it would be. So epizootic, I think, is because there's two O's.
Yeah,
and then necrosis.
Yep.
Those two words, fine. That middle one, no clue, dude. There's way too many vowels. I don't understand. It's
that's why I did what I did.
Yeah, it's HEMATOPOIETIC. So like, it's like, okay, so you have the E, and then the vowel after the M is an A, so that would like change whatever. But then there's more vowels and more, like, it's consonant vowel.
Yeah,
until you have 3 vowels in a row, and it's like, well, what do you do with that? Where do you stop? Is it hematopoietic? Oiditic? Do you say it like you're that director? Jerry's kids. What's that guy's name? I can't think of it. You know what I'm talking about?
I do, but I can't recall it.
Do you say it like that? Hematopoietic? I don't know, dude. I have no idea. Most of the time I have like a decent guess where I feel good about it. I feel like that's what it feels like to me.
Yeah.
This one, I don't know what letter to put the emphasis on. I am emphasis on the syllable. I am lost.
Yep.
No chance.
Me too.
So epizootic, hematopoietic, just make noises for a while, and then necrosis.
Sounds bad. Don't know what it is, but they're worried that it could spread if they were. And then again, that they could hybrid. So, yep. Doesn't look like they're going to, as long as things keep going well, we'll say. I'll just, give the benefit of the doubt to the people who are watching these fish and doing the research and stuff like that. If everything goes well, they will be stuck in Spiritwood Lake in North Dakota unless you go to Europe. So put it down on the list of things to get to, Tim.
Hell yeah, I'm going there. And then if that don't work, I'm glad to know that I can go to like Finland. Yeah. That's fine. I'll go to Finland.
Yeah.
Oh,
right. Instead of having to go to like, I know what you're saying. And you're like, that's why you said, can I go to some country that I'm not going to get fucking murdered in?
Is him from Finland? Are they Finnish?
Yeah.
Nice, dude. Yeah, I'll go to Finland.
That's it. That's a wrap on the Zander. I'm about to wrap this up so we can get into the random take where we're going to talk some video games.
Oh, I'm ready. I'm
ready too, because I thought I had a surprise. Tim's got a surprise.
I got a surprise.
Let's go.
Random ass surprise.
For the random take. Fucking perfect. All right, let's do it. Hit the break.
Yep.
Here we are, patreon.com/realaftv. That's right, patreon.com/realaftv. Real like fish and reel. We are on Patreon, and we are coming to tell you, and by we, I mean me and Tim, Real AFTV podcast here, coming to you to say we have a Patreon. as low as $1 a month, but hey, you could go up to $100 if you really wanted to get crazy with it. It's there. Go over to our website, realaf.tv. You can find the Patreon link right there, or go to Patreon and look us up, Real AF TV, Real Like Fish and Reel. And we have things like, for $50 a month, we will customize, what kind of tackle is it, Tim? We have some in the warehouse right now that we haven't actually ran
a lure. Yes.
Lure, thank you.
Is a crankbait.
Crankbait.
Yes, we will customize a crankbait for you.
At
yes.
the $50 tier. Also, Patreon, if you're new to the whole Patreon thing, if you're on a podcast, you're probably not that new to it. But Patreon is something that you can jump in and out of. Like, if you do $50 this month, bam, you get the custom lure. But you don't want to do that for the whole year. You jump down to the $5 a month tier, where you're going to get early access content. You can help vote on the random take, one of the random takes for the month. And, we'll keep up with you on Patreon as well. Like just a direct Patreon contact. There's communication you do only through Patreon. That's what I'm trying to say. So if you're new, there's just a little intro to it.
Yeah. And to clarify, that custom painted lure is a fully custom painted lure, like the pattern and everything. That won't be just something that we have a lure that we just like write Real AF TV on.
Yes. Thank you, Tim. Thank you for clearing that up, because yes, it's a slug, for lack of a better word, right now, and it will be turned into something.
Right.
I'm not good at the whole fishing lingo, so maybe Tim, you could evaluate on that a little, or like elaborate on.
Yeah, I mean, it's right now it has no color, and I will give it color.
There we go.
It will look like a bait fish imitation of some sort. It might not be exactly colored. It might not be realistic. Some of that stuff out there that the different companies work with makes different stuff, but it will be a custom painted lure, and it won't look like dog shit. Because not to be like, too full of myself, but I have some talent.
You have some artistic talent. Yes.
Yeah,
very true. If you know friends and family and stuff like that got a few bucks to kick our way, let them know. realaf.tv. Scroll down a little bit, there's the Patreon link. It'll shoot you right over. Sign up for a little bit. Welcome back to the Real AF TV podcast show about fishing random takes from the lakes. This is the random take. We just got off a big fishing topic about Zander, Russian walleye, ? Just in case you're catching this on YouTube when we split these topics up, I thought I'd throw that in there. We're going to talk about video games now. That topic got us ready to divert into some surprising things, because that was a surprise. Like, there was some surprises in there. I purposely left a cliffhanger for the end. It was fun. And I have an update on something that I've been theorizing and stuff like that. And then Tim has a completely random thing that I have no fucking clue what's going on. So
random. I just got it in the mail. I didn't even know that we were going to be talking about video games. And then I was just like, ooh, I'm bringing this to the table.
God, I want to know so bad, but do you want me to go first? I like, is the suspense going to be there, or what are we going to do?
You go first.
Okay.
I don't know if people are like, I don't know if it's going to be that exciting for people. I am excited about it.
Okay. I'm excited for the excitement, even. Like, I'm just excited by the excitement. So whatever it turns out to be, I'm cool with it.
Stay tuned, see what it's going to be.
So a couple weeks ago, I was at work, and a guy who I work with, he's a friend outside of work.
Okay.
And now we're working closely together again.
Yep.
He's like, you pumped for that last Ronin game? I was like, that Ronin, that ninja game that Sony's coming out with, I think it's published by Sony or whatever, I forget what it's like, the Rise of the Ronin or whatever.
Yeah.
And he goes, and he's like, no. that Ninja Turtle game. And I'm like, what the fuck? Are you kidding me? And he's like, no, they launched it. And I said, oh my God, I've been talking about this game, this theoretical game with my buddy Tim for, and I told him the story and my theory. And no, dude, apparently, so this, I swear the last time we talked about this game being a hypothetical game,
the
trailer had already dropped and I didn't know about it.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I don't know how it flew under my radar. It's the trailer was released by Sony.
Yeah.
Like on Sony's YouTube channel.
Oh, it was by Sony too.
Yeah. So, okay. So to sum this all up for the people who are listening, is The Last Ronin is a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle graphic novel, like a big one. And I've talked about it before, and I think it was in our book reading episode, is like, I bought that. I haven't read it yet, but I'm definitely going to read it now, especially before the game comes out.
Yeah.
So yeah, he just goes, no, check it out. There's a trailer. So yeah, sure enough, I just look up TMNT, The Last Ronin video game, and bam, this trailer pops up. Now, we already watched it while we were on the break.
Yep.
And I was like, what the fuck, dude? Oh my God.
Yeah.
And I can't understand everything because I haven't read the book yet. But there's 4 candles.
Right.
There's 4 candles, and they all blow out one by one until there's 1 candle left.
Yep. 4 candles. Leonardo, Donatello, Michelangelo, Raphael.
Yep.
All 3 are gone. There's 1 remaining.
Yep.
But who is that 1?
And I will know when I read it.
You think it tells you in the book?
Yes. Because
I'm gonna stay out of the comment section on that video then.
Yeah. And actually the guy who told me about this accidentally let it slip.
Yeah.
Because.
Oh, man.
And so I think I know who it is, but my theory could still be right. And that is that there was a 5th turtle that was left over, but there were only 4 candles in this. So my impression was that the 4 original turtles were dead, and the last Ronin was like this unheard of brother.
Oh.
So I'm not going to spoil anything, but that was my theory and my sort of undertaking, or my belief as I go into the undertaking of reading The Last Ronin. And also now there's The Last Ronin, The Lost Years. I have that book too. So there's 2 Ronin books actually.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go in. I'm going to go in before this game comes out.
I don't know if I want to.
I know, right? It's really hard. I want to because I already dedicated to the first comic before I knew the game was real.
Sure.
But if you remember when I first told you that there was rumors flying about this game existing, and I was like, no way, man, because Sony just released a game, The Rise of the Ronin. Like Sony just released a trailer. I'm pretty sure Sony's publishing Rise of the Ronin. It's a Team Ninja game, but I'm pretty sure Sony's publishing it. And I said, no, there's no way. This is a mix-up. Like, they heard ninjas, they heard Ronin, somebody made it up and just put an internet rumor out there. I'm wrong. There's a real trailer out saying The Last Ronin TMNT is in development. It had Nickelodeon's stamp on it and everything.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know that it was put out. Like, I might have seen something of a trailer, but it wasn't the trailer that we saw. And
interesting.
I don't know if it was a real trailer. That's the thing, because there's so many fakes out there. People just trying to get views on YouTube and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
It happens all the time where somebody will put out like the name of a movie and you're just like, oh shit, they're making another one of these.
Right.
And then it's just like clips of like old movies like spliced together.
I know, dude.
With like a picture that AI created. Yeah, it's so stupid. I hate it too.
It's so nuts.
And people would be like unofficial trailer.
Right.
Or sometimes they even put official trailer in
Right,
the
because
title.
they
Like,
just they have the
How
ability
are
to just
you-
put the text in, and I
Yeah.
fucking hate that.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
just drives me nuts. And you're
Me
like,
too.
well, what the fuck is this then? So this is not real?
Right. And somehow going back to our last episode again, back to episode 82, somehow Google's going to have to get better at that because of AI. They're going to have to just get better at
Right.
recognizing the fakes. And then so those sort of fakes are going to have to come down. I can't tell you, dude, how many times I've gotten got by like Jeezy, Snoop Dogg, Dre.
Right.
And I'm like, whoa, I didn't know that those guys did a song
Yeah.
together. And you click on it and it's not. It's just a spliced
No.
together song. They used old video footage, like old footage
Yep.
from each individual's video, and it's fake. And I'm like, you motherfuckers.
Yep. And it's garbage. It's not even
It's-
put together well. It's
Yep.
just some idiot that wanted to get
That wanted
clicks
to get
and
clicks.
stuff.
Yep.
But that one makes me even madder because when you see all these artists together,
Mhm.
it's not like some epiphany where somebody can be like, oh, look how many people really want to see all these guys work together. That's not going to happen.
Right.
But
Right.
the only thing I do like when people put together those old bullshit videos
Mhm.
is that if you get like 4 million people on there and all the comments are like, you dick, I really thought this was real. I was so excited. And now I know that it's fake. Like if a movie studio sees that there's that many people being like, why isn't this real?
Right.
Then they'll be like, we should make this real, right?
Right.
You know?
Yeah, dude.
So that
Uh-huh.
gets me excited. But like when you're talking about like putting like 6 artists together, that's not something you can, you know,
Right.
that all those artists are just going to be like, all these people want to see us on a track together.
Right.
All those guys are already aware of this.
Right.
They're all like, yeah, I know, but how the fuck are we all going to be on one track?
Right. Yep.
And how are we going to be able to make a track epic enough that people
To
are going to
live
want
up
to hear
to
it?
that
'Cause,
hype.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you try to get Dre and Jay on the same, like just even like Dre and Jay, just say that together, right? And people are going to be like,
Right.
oh shit, this is the ultimate East Coast and West Coast coming together. This is what and how? I can't even
Right.
think of Dre being able to make a beat that Jay would sound good on just because they're like two different sounds. I'm not saying Dre's not capable of it, and I'm not saying that Jay's not capable of like finding a spot, you know, finding a slot in a Dre beat. It just is just like you put two titans together trying to make something larger than the both of them. It's never going to happen.
There's a new task for AI. Oh man.
So
Like,
anyways,
listen,
back to the Ronin thing. I think I'm going to go in, dude. I think I'm going to comic book it up.
Yeah.
I got him. I'm ready for it. I
Dude,
want to
as soon
see
as
it all.
you said that there's a graphic novel and that you have it already, I was like, I wonder if there's an audiobook. And immediately after that thought, I was like, I don't know if I want to know. I think I want to play the video game and let the video game. So as I'm like really,
Right.
you know, trying to get to the goal and the big reveal, I still shit my pants on. Hopefully I don't have it ruined for me.
Right.
'Cause
Because the
there's-
book's already out there and stuff like that.
The Sixth Sense. Never got to experience. People are just like,
Oh,
oh
I know.
my God. That twist. Nope, had it ruined before I ever saw that movie.
Yep.
So I knew it the whole time I'm watching it, just being like, seems,
Waiting for it.
Yeah.
Right.
Seems kind of not obvious, but you know, seems like you can see it if you know it. Like they did a good job. The whole time I'm like, they did a good job. I can see it now, but I don't know if I would have guessed it. Wish I would have been able to have that opportunity.
Let me ask you this one. Fight Club.
Yeah. Fight Club I didn't see coming.
Me neither. Okay, good. So you
No.
didn't have that spoiled for you. Okay.
No, Fight Club I did not have spoiled.
That was fucking dope.
And-
but you watch it a second time and you go, oh yeah, I see it now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
This
Makes
bitchin'.
sense. Yep. Yeah. I didn't have, there's a couple of different ones where I did not have them spoiled. And there's some where, so I watched that latest, it was the M. Night Shyamalan movie that's called,
yeah.
I think it's called The Cabin.
Yeah. That sounds right.
and he's known for twists. And spoiler alert, there ain't one. I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for the end to just be like, and here's the twist. And then at the end, it's just like, oh, that was just all what happened.
That's
it's just
the
over
twist.
now.
That's the fucking twist.
Yeah. I was like, oh shit, mind blown. The twist is there is no twist. You didn't see that shit coming. I definitely,
awesome, dude.
The funny part is too, yeah, after that, I was like, I didn't see that coming. I was totally waiting for the twist, and then there wasn't a twist. I definitely fell for, I thought there was going to be a twist. So
that is so good.
Yeah.
So Last Ronin, there's going to be some sort of twist or something. We know 4, there's 1. Who knows what it's going to be?
Right.
I looked into the companies that are doing this. So, it's THQ Nordic, and so if you remember THQ at all, THQ was huge in like the early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what they did, but I definitely know of them.
Yeah, you definitely.
Do you know? Do you know any of the
I want to
games?
say that they had, there was ATV Off-Road Fury that was on PlayStation.
Yeah.
And they made like the competitors to that. THQ,
Okay.
THQ made the like, I believe that they made the
Did they make one of the snowboarding games?
That I don't know.
There was a couple of them.
What do you mean?
I want like 1080 or like one of
no,
that
not
kind
1080.
of stuff.
No.
I just can't think of.
Yeah. No, I know you can't think of any right now. I can tell you this though. There is the developer, Black Forest Games. There was a game called Destroy All Humans. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So that game got remade. Like they completely remade it.
Okay.
Do you remember how big that game was or was not?
No.
Exactly. Because it was not.
Okay, I was gonna say I remember it, like the title.
Right. Because it was unique enough, and so this is one of those situations where you're talking about just what you were talking about prior, where there was a big enough cult following and enough noise on the internet that THQ Nordic was like, hey, we own that property. Let's remake it. They give it to Black Forest Games. Black Forest Games remakes it. THQ blows out this relaunch. They make like a super collector's edition, and they just go all in. And that's sort of what THQ's been doing. They did this with SpongeBob Bikini Bottom. It was the PlayStation platformer.
Okay.
Yeah. They did that. They made a huge collector's edition. They blew it out on the internet. All these SpongeBob fans are now, in their late 20s, 30s, and they're ready they're ready to spend money on this game. That's what THQ Nordic does now. THQ was dead. I assume a bunch of VCs, just like a bunch of people with money, just came around and started buying up old THQ properties that people were willing to sell, or found a stash of them or something like that. And now THQ Nordic just started publishing nostalgia.
Okay.
For lack of a better way of putting it, they just started publishing nostalgia.
Yeah.
So, this is different though. It is nostalgia in a way, right? TMNT. Yeah. But this is completely new property.
Yeah.
Like The Last Ronin is its own thing. It's more of an adult thing and everything like that. But because they had SpongeBob, I bet you they just had really good connections at Nickelodeon. And they were like, hey.
Yeah. With the SpongeBob. And I saw that they were working on like a couple other like kids things. When I was like looking at my phone is pretty much dead, so I can't look anymore. But I think THQ, I remember it the most. They were the developers on Stuntman Ignition. I don't know if they
That's
did
right.
the first Stuntman 2,
Right. I don't
or
think
if
they
they
did,
got the other
but
one.
still.
No. Yeah. So that's probably I saw there was a Motocross Unleashed one. I bet I played that one too.
Yep,
I don't
that's the game I
remember
was
having
talking
it,
about.
but yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
those sort of games. Looks like they had WWF
Yes.
in the
And I
in
played
the 2000s there too.
I wonder, see, I did play those as well. Not all of them, but a couple of
No,
them.
but enough. I know. Oh yeah, we
Yeah.
play because I remember playing them in high school.
Yeah, when they had the creative characters, it was like one of the first like creative characters you could
Yeah,
do, and then you
that
could
was
try
like really good
yeah, well, now you look back on it and you're
for the
like, whoa,
time.
Jesus, I can't believe we thought that was good. Dude. It looks stupid as shit.
But yeah, looking back at they've had a good relationship with Nickelodeon, just Viacom in general, for quite a while.
Yeah.
Looking through
Yep.
their backlog of what THQ used to be. Remember, THQ did fall apart, and now they're back as THQ Nordic.
Right. Yep.
So there's anyways, so there's a lot there, and that's why I wanted to bring this up, is because we had talked about it already. There's this publisher that just seems to be doing crazy stuff that in recent years, and now here they are, completely original IP. I looked at also a completely original IP, you know what I mean, like it's still Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but you get what I mean. It's rumored to be like God of War style.
Sure. Yeah, that would be sick.
Oh man, that has me pumped. So pumped.
Yeah.
God of War is easily one of my favorite franchises of all time. And they're talking new God of War. They're talking God of War PS4 God of War.
Yeah. And given it just, I mean, basically the side scroller, like beat 'em up is what we love with the Turtles.
Right. Yep.
And now giving it that like new revamped God of War style beat 'em up. Yeah. Hell yeah. And
yeah,
then,
dude.
like,
and story driven too, because that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like the Ronin books have really high ratings. And
right.
you don't get a high rating at a comic book without it being a good story. Sure, the art,
exactly.
The art's not going to pull it through to fucking 9 on the equivalent of Rotten Tomatoes for comic books.
Right. Yeah. And like what better way could you do having one guy,
Right.
The beat 'em ups having 4 people, it makes it different, but one is like, this guy's got to be like just the shit.
Right.
So you put it in like a God of War story or style, where everybody knows like he's the shit.
Right.
That's gonna be dope.
Yeah. I have high hopes, dude. I'm pumped on it. Now, this
I'm
trailer
a little
literally
bit
just
nervous.
says in development.
Yeah.
So like we got some time to wait.
The only thing that makes me nervous is that like just looking at THQ's catalog.
Yeah.
Is like they have never taken on a game like this.
I know.
So fingers crossed that they bring in some other people that have been there before, or they got some new talent. Hopefully that they talked to some people that had some great ideas.
Right.
And that's why this game is even in existence. That they had some people that were just like, what if we did this, and these things, and we can make it happen? And then that's why they were like, yes, let's do it. So hopefully, I'm just crossing my fingers that they can make it be what we're hoping for.
Yep, I'm with you. I looked at Black Forest Games backlog of like games that they've done in the past, and again, I already said it, for THQ Nordic, they did Destroy All Humans, which is just taking an existing game and rebuilding it or whatever,
right?
Whatever they did in the background there. But they did have an original game that looked like it had a lot of potential. Like it had decent ratings. It had decent ratings on Steam. It was a walking around a world kind of beat 'em up. Had some other things, And to me, I see it like this, that they came in needing some money coming off of that project. They did. This is a story I'm making up in my head, right? To make myself feel good about the last Ronin game. So they made this game and it was pretty big and pretty ambitious, but they didn't make as much money as they really needed to keep going. So they went to a publisher to try to get some money. And this publisher was like, well, I think we're going to do a big blowout with this old game. Can you remake games? And they're like, sure. Yeah. How much money you're going to give us? And THQ's like, we got piles of money. So they went and remade Destroy All Humans.
Yep.
This game, and I don't have the name written down because it's not important right now. So I think they took that. Then they had this old game that they were like, that's a cool engine. And there was that was a cool concept. You guys know Nickelodeon really well. And we just read this comic book. And we have an idea.
Nice.
Yeah, and I feel like that's what happened. And then because Sony has this trailer on their website or on their YouTube channel, I feel like THQ pulled some strings and was like, hey, you're releasing a game with the name Ronin in it soon. We kind of want to make a God of War game. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Let's get some things. And I hope so much that it's somewhere in the background. There are some Sony story people helping out or some Sony programmers that are just kicking them a little bit of info. This is why I have high hopes for this game. God, I hope it's good.
Or even like with the story development, maybe they just even went to the people that wrote the book. And they're just like, oh yeah, can you help us make this into the game?
Yeah,
like,
I think the trailer might say that, but I didn't have the book and I don't have the authors memorized. But the trailer had like people in it in the beginning that made me feel that was happening. So
nice.
I sure hope that's happening.
Well, if even the storyline is good and the gameplay is just like decent, I'd still be into it. Yep. But I hope that it could be the game I'm hoping for.
Yeah. Me too. All right, Tim.
Nice.
I can't wait anymore. We're not going to talk about TMNT anymore or last round.
I'm going to show you the other thing.
Let me see first, your random shit.
First, before I get to the random shit, okay. I just want to say I've been playing that, the MetaQuest. I got that Population 1. Dude, I'm addicted. That's what I play
What's this?
Population 1 is a battle royale.
Is this that game you talked about on the last episode too?
Yeah. So you drop in, you grab your guns, and then you just go. I'm learning how to use all the different guns.
Yeah.
There's so much dope shit about this when you start realizing stuff. Like you have your one hand and you take your other hand that has the grab button. If you use the grab button with your right hand, it'll actually grab the gun. That's how you look down the scope for the sniper rifle. I was like, I don't even know how to use these sniper rifles if you want to look down the scope. But like a pistol, they have like the Magnum pistol has like a red dot style sight. It doesn't show it, but it gives you like some of them you're looking down the iron sights.
Yep.
You don't have to grab it with the other hand. You can legitimately lift it with one hand and just like look down the sights.
Oh my God.
Or you can grab it with both hands and get a little bit steadier feel. So it's super cool how you can do that. You can, you have like a wingsuit, so you can like fly from like spot to spot. So if you climb up, you can fly.
Hell yeah.
And I learned that if I fly, I can actually like point with one hand and like shoot as I'm flying.
Dude.
I had one
fucking sick.
There was one where there was two guys on my squad and then they got like mowed down by these other guys, but the guys didn't see me. I killed two of them, and you can res people, and resing people, they have like the paddles and you literally have to rub them together.
No way.
And then go, and you revive the guy. You can hear him. So I hear, and I had dual Uzis, and I fly over the wall. And like, as I'm coming over the wall, I'm just like, and I light him up, and I'm like, yeah. And
While he's rezzing someone?
while he's about to res the other two guys. I
Yeah,
can't see
dude.
them because they're like ghosts,
Right.
but they're there and he's getting ready.
Yeah.
And I fly over, just light his ass up, and that's the whole squad's done right there. And then immediately after I land, I know that I killed all three of them and I can res my guys. And like the funniest thing is it moves like you move.
Uh-huh.
So like as I'm resing, I'm like dancing, res them, and I'm like up in the air with the paddles and stuff.
Yeah, dude.
It's just like I'm just having a good time in there. So I'm obsessed with it, how funny all the different stuff is. And just people are weird, dude. You get 14-year-old kids that say the weirdest shit. So I'm just cracking up. Me and this other dude, like, we're like, so there's three of us on the squad. The one guy doesn't start for a while, and I guess we're just like, I guess it's just us. I don't know what's up with that guy. He must be leaving or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And like 5 minutes into the game, all of a sudden he's like, "Oh, sorry, my uncle was playing it," and I'm just like, "Oh, no worries, just come over here and get a chance." He's like, "No, I gotta go. My uncle wouldn't get off, so I had to fuck him. You can find me on Pornhub. My little ass dick is on." And he just like starts saying, "We're like, what?"
Oh,
And then he just dips. He's
What
like
the
some
fuck?
kid just saying so much weird stuff. And then me and the other guy are like, "All right."
What
Just
the
keep
fuck,
playing.
dude? That is so weird.
Weird stuff. Like they can just say anything that they want. You know, that's what you can. Hey, oh, also, you can change your name to a swear word on there. I don't know how many swear words are allowed.
Oh, really?
Most places they don't.
Yeah, they block them out. Yeah.
And they show your name in the main lobby above everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
A lot of people really like the name Shit Goose. And it's really funny for me to hear the kids who are like by their parents when they're just like, "Hey, Goose, come over here, Goose." And they're about to say, or the other people, a lot of people see it too, and they just go, "What up, Shit Goose?" Because they can see that you're on their team or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm digging that thing. But here's my reveal.
Dude, that's awesome.
Here's my reveal.
Okay.
See if you can see it.
Bison.
You see?
M. Bison.
Yeah.
Yep. It's a close up. All I see is just a black outline of M. Bison. What the fuck? It's a shoe, dude. What?
That's my M Bison shoes.
What the fuck, dude? Where did you get fucking M. Bison shoes? Oh my god. Street Fighter on the
Street
tongue?
Fighter. Yeah. It says right here. It says
hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
What does that say? I can't read it.
It says, "Get lost. You can't compare with my powers."
Dude.
So these are the M Bison Reeboks.
No way, dude.
They're not the best looking shoe, but I had to get them. And then in this one, it says, "Fight."
Oh, it's just the fucking the letters. Fight.
Yep. Fight.
With the fucking gradient and everything. It's like the printout from the fucking game.
100%. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And
dude,
then it's just
those
got
are
like,
so sick.
I don't know, this purple here, I don't know if that's like from one of the levels or what
that purple is
just
super dope. It actually looks like I because as high res as the internet is, you can't get the full feel, but it looks like it looks like the background of a level or like the background of because that was always black. You know what? I don't know if this is just Street Fighter 2 though either, and I'm going off of Street Fighter 2 lore.
Right.
But I was gonna say it looked like a character select part. Oh, the M Bison wings with this face in the middle.
That's on the back of both heels.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
Were there any other characters? Just curious before.
They have one other pair that is just like Street Fighter, and it's not like a character, but one shoe is blue and one shoe is red.
Oh. Interesting.
And those are completely different style. 100% honest, these shoes aren't the best looking shoes, but I had to get them just because they look like, my wife, as soon as she sees them, she's like, they're like bowling shoes. And I was like, yeah,
kind of.
Pretty close. But this is almost like there's like a sheen to it. It's almost like a metallic-y like shininess.
The red part
And
of
then
it is?
like this is like a suede, like a leather almost.
Yeah.
And then this is like shiny.
Oh, the toe part of it?
Yeah, the toe like this.
Yeah, it's hard for me to see in the
This
in the
toe,
current resolution that
yeah.
I should say the
So
compression. It's the color in order to keep it streaming. It compresses
Yeah.
the color so much I can't really tell.
Sure.
I have to watch
Yeah.
back the HD video now.
Yeah, but they're pretty sick, and I was like, the moment I saw them, I was like, oh shit, yeah, those are pretty dope. But I didn't want to spend $100 on them because that's what they were going for.
Yeah.
Hey, turns out that the antagonist of a Street Fighter game made a bunch of years ago isn't everybody's favorite character.
Right.
He's mine. So nobody sold. No, they didn't sell a lot of these, and they got marked down to $59. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, I'm buying those.
Oh fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah. So you can, if anybody else wants them right now, you can go on Reebok, or I actually found them in Foot Locker's website.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah,
I want to go look at the other ones.
They had like a 20 off coupon code, 20% off, because I never bought anything online there before. They had like a 20% off if you signed up for like their email thing or whatever, if you spent over $100.
Yep.
So these were just like my add-on shoes. I'm waiting for some like LeBrons to come in the mail.
Nice.
That I'll wear in a like regular manner. But these ones, at the very least, I'm like, they're maroon. Like,
yeah,
I can wear these like with gopher stuff or whatever, you know.
Dude, those will match anything. Those you just fucking
with the silver too. It's like I don't have anything to, you know. There's a little bit of tan on there.
Yeah,
could throw on some.
I get how your wife said that they're bowling shoes, but I'm fucking pumped on them, dude. I think
they're cool looking. Yeah, I'm gonna put those on with some khakis.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna sea walk to that song you found online with all those artists.
Yeah, dude, those are so dope. But I don't even know how to explain them. I mean, there's a way to explain them, but like you just got to come over to YouTube to see these things. That's all there is to it.
Yeah,
especially the way that reveal was so good. Is like, yeah, that's M. Bison, but like, what are you showing me? Yeah. I love the fight in the heel, dude. It's so good.
Fight. Yep.
Oh yeah, my god.
I was not able to find any other cool stuff. I found all the bottoms real like old school Reebok.
Is it?
But yeah. But I couldn't find. I thought maybe there'd be some other hidden,
like some little
gem in here.
Yeah, like the laces are.
I didn't see
the laces say player 1 and the other one says player 2 on it or something.
Right, exactly. Yeah, no, I didn't find anything like that. I didn't find that "get lost, you can't compare with my powers." I did not see that quote at first.
That's fucking sick, though.
Yeah,
that's when you lose to him.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's so fucking cool.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Bison was one of my favorites. I know, like, if anybody wants to just be like, he's a dick or whatever, the storyline, I don't care. I just like playing. He was my guy. He was
your
him.
main? Yeah.
Yeah, probably my main. I like Blanca too, but Blanca was just like cool. Blanca I thought was like the coolest looking one. Just like this green guy with the orange hair and
that hair. Yeah, dude.
And he had that move just like everybody else where you just rattle the button as fast as you can.
Yep.
I liked Bison's because I've always been like a counter puncher style guy. And Bison had a move where you like his special move was like you back up for like 2 seconds and then you hit the button and he goes forward.
Yep.
So like I get close to you and I'm just kind of like getting my space as you're coming at me and then
Yep. That's why I had a hard time with him because my main is E Honda. And E Honda has one close the gap move. But other than that
like headbutt.
Yep.
It's really similar move, I guess, when you think about it.
But yeah, it is because you do have to backpedal before you can go forward with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Bison just turns into like he's like engulfed in like a blue flame or whatever.
Yeah. 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 I just remember losing to him a lot, but so I can't recall all of it. But yeah, anyways, what I was saying is like, I remember that move with Bison because that's how I would get got. Like even the AI just picked up on it because I would always, he's a sumo wrestler. It's
right.
He has long arms, but it's called get close.
Right.
Like
exactly.
that's how it works. That's how E-Honda works.
Yep. Well, and if anybody else, if you're not familiar with Street Fighter and you want to be confused at what we're talking about and not learn about the video game, go watch the movie that was made in the 90s.
With Jean-Claude Van Damme as the lead character.
That movie doesn't make any damn sense. That Bison is not the one I'm into. I like the one from the video game.
No.
That shit doesn't make any sense at all. He's trying to like create his own money and make his own world, and they're just trying to like open a mall where everybody wants to like be part. I don't know. It's so confusing. It doesn't make any sense. Jean-Claude Van Damme is also supposed to be Guile flexing with the American flag.
Yeah.
Guile's got big hair and he's like as American as it can get.
Yep.
And then you got Jean-Claude Van Damme is like, I'm going to kick Bison's ass. You're like, that guy's American.
That guy did not just speak American English. Oh, I remember watching that as a kid and being confused and going just like,
oh, dude,
I will never watch this movie again.
I watched it like 3 times over. I didn't understand a bit of what was going on. I just liked the characters. I'm like, hell yeah, look at he's got those guns, he's got a bat, and they're all fighting and stuff. Like I didn't give a shit about the storyline. I was just there for my characters fighting and stuff.
I don't recall E-Honda being in the movie much, if at all.
He's Hawaiian.
That's probably also why I was bothered by it. See, this is the sort of stuff why, like, you look back at it with a different eye. But I just remember not really liking that movie. And my memory of it is that fucking Bison was like the equivalent weird as Koopa from the Super Mario Brothers movie back then.
That one's terrible.
It's so bad because I just King Bowser, we can call him now, right? Mm-hmm. King Koopa,
yeah,
is a white dude with spiky blonde hair. Hair.
He's just the guy.
What? A dude with spiky hair?
And the Goombas are like just massive dudes with tiny little reptile heads. You're like, what the fuck is that?
Where have you ever seen that? And then that's my memory of like the jarringness of Koopa.
Yeah.
In that movie, it was like the same jar level of Bison in the Street Fighter movie. That's my memory of it.
Yeah.
But I'm also not recalling that the Japanese sumo wrestler was Hawaiian. So
I know, dude. That's why it doesn't. They just like took some real liberties on that thing, man. It didn't make a whole lot of sense. There was all sorts of stuff that was confusing.
Yeah.
And Bison is just like this big tank, and he's also like, I mean, in the game, he looks like The Rock wearing like a skin tight Nazi outfit.
Put that one in your AI image generator.
But in the movie, he's just like a bigger dude that like kind of looks like him wearing a regular Nazi outfit. But there's red. It's red, not black. So
right. At least, but yeah, no, I agree. It was weird. It was so weird. I also love that these shoes came on the day. Like this is not planned at all, and like they just showed up, and you just come to the podcast with like, oh my god, it couldn't be more perfect. I just
literally looked at the doc like, what are we talking about? And I just go, oh shit, no way. I even talked to Shannon as I'm opening up the box. I'm just like, we're talking about video games tonight. Can you believe this? And I pull them out. And then I'm like, aren't these sick? And she's like, they look like bowling shoes. And I'm like, fuck you, they're cool.
You just don't get it.
You don't get it. I mean, I got like, they were normally $100 and then $59, plus I had a coupon, so it's whatever. Just deal with it. I didn't pay that much for them. Let me have my thing.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. That is awesome.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. We should probably wrap up this topic though here.
Let's do it.
We're getting long. Oh, but before we do that, you got to do what the internet obligates you to do, like subscribe, all that stuff. Especially now, you can do that all from the YouTube Music app. I think is what it's still called. Podcasts are there now, and Real AF TV's on that shit. So you could do the like and subscribe over there. Do it on Spotify too. Spotify, I think, has follows.
And comments, I guess, now? I just learned about these things.
Right. I'm just learning about it too.
Yeah. Be like, we like Zander and we don't wear wooden clogs. If you don't hit it, let us know.
Let us know. I'd love to know what's going on. Have you
caught a Zander here in the States?
Oh.
Also, let us know.
Yeah, dude. For sure. Share that. That would be fucking super dope to hear that.
Who's your favorite Street Fighter person? Do you have any dope memorabilia shoes? I'm trying to find some other cool stuff. I like cool shoes. I know Steph Curry is dropping some Under Armour Bruce Lee's.
No way.
Yeah, there's like fire and wind ones. I don't know if there's a water one, but yeah, they're kind of neat. They're kind of neat. So if anybody else has any cool stuff like that too, hit me up. I can't wear a lot of different kind of shoes because I have big flat feet.
Yep.
But
big feet. It's tough when you're tall.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, subscribe, and all that good jazz. We got a Patreon out there.
That's right.
And if you haven't checked them all out, literally any video game movie from the 90s is terrible. Go watch them all. They're all fun. True. Double Dragon.
They're bad.
Super Mario Bros.
They're just bad.
Not the new one. Super Mario Bros. The new game is good. The old Street Fighter, all that stuff. You go to the real people, not any animated stuff. Real people. Nobody got it right. I don't know what the hell they were doing back then.
Mortal Kombat was okay, but you want to know what I think the
Mortal
gauge
Kombat was okay, but that one was still terrible.
Yes, and I think this is the gauge, is that I swear I watched Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter in the same week. So to say that Mortal Kombat is good, probably because I was comparing it to the Street Fighter movie.
See, but getting back to that a little bit, Mortal Kombat at least stuck with the premises where they're just like, there's a combat for like in the Shadow Realm or whatever, and like it actually makes sense where it's just like it's gonna be combat. Street Fighter, there's no street fighting. They're like, here's good guys and here's a bad guy, and the good guys are trying to stop this, and they don't ever actually do any street fighting. You could have set it up like a number of different Street Fighter, there's all sorts of different movies that are about people fighting. So I don't know if that's why they were just gonna be like, we're gonna take these characters and tell the story that the game doesn't tell. I don't know what the hell they were thinking.
I have no idea.
And with Super Mario Brothers, they're just like, yeah, we got a vague idea. There's like King Koopa, he's got his henchmen. Mario's a plumber. The rest is whatever the fuck is going on. Mario in that game, or in that movie, Mario and Luigi is like, Mario is like an old Italian like plumber, but then Luigi is like his mixed race stepson. It's like, what the fuck is this? That's not how it goes at all.
That is definitely not the story. It is called the Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah. So, I don't know what the hell they were doing.
Oh, beautiful. That's fucking beautiful.